go. Biffy Clyro almost finishing off the Sunday service, this special Glastonbury Sunday service. And the people who are going to be taking over from me have walked into the room. Hi.
Hi, we're going to engage. We're going to engage with you in the same kind of tone, even though the Adam and Joe program is far more innovating and irritating. But it's sacrilegious to kind of ruin the mood that you create here, Jarvis.
I'm going to go even lower than Jarvis.
Loving it.
Oh, it's past sexy and becomes just scary when I do this.
And what can we expect from your program, guys?
A lot of football chat.
Oh, that'll go down well.
Because we love
We
love the ball,
love that.
the net, the kicking, all of the sport we absolutely love. So yeah, it's the place that everyone's heading to for the deconstruction of the game.
Okay.
So we're going to do that. Hey, do you ever read the shipping forecast, Jarvis? Have you ever been invited to do that? Or
No, but it would be one of my dreams.
I mean, it would be great. You had the music from the shipping forecast on one of your compilation albums,
I
didn't
did,
you?
yeah.
I remember. That would be great, man. You should definitely do that. Can you not just... Do you have to be on Radio 4?
Assassinate the person who does it at the moment.
Yes.
I think you'd be great.
Anyway, have a great show. Have you been at the festival? I've all gone normal now, haven't I? Have you been at the festival all weekend?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been really
That's
fun.
been good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but it's been really sunny.
It's been
It
amazing.
has, hasn't it?
Have you noticed?
I noticed that, yeah.
And you know normally it's rainy.
Yeah,
But
rainy
it's
and
been
muddy.
sunny.
Wow.
Who have you seen, Jarvis, that you've been impressed by their stagecraft? Because if you don't mind me saying so, obviously you are maybe the king of stagecraft
It's very nice of you to say
in
so.
living memory.
Well, I saw the Flaming Lips who've been... I don't know how I've managed to not see them, but it's the first time I've seen them live, and yeah, their stage show was fantastic. He had the kind of fog machine. He kind of picked it up and aimed it at everybody, and sometimes it was just one big cloud on the stage.
Was he rolling around in his hamster ball?
I think he did that. We went at that point, but I think he did get out into the crowd in the hamster ball, yes.
Yeah.
I have an adverse reaction to the Flaming Lips.
What's your problem?
They're too positive.
So you
Yeah.
go all negative, do you?
Yeah.
But
They make
isn't
me
that-
go the other
but
way.
At festival, surely that's what you want. Anyway, I'll play my last song, and then it's over to you guys.
Okay.
This is hopefully an appropriate song. First time I came to Glastonbury, I had a horrible time. It wasn't sunny, but one ray of sunshine was Jonathan Richman played, and for the time I watched him, I felt good. And this is his song, "The Summer Feeling," which it's
Lovely
a
song.
lovely song that
Yeah.
says such a lot about summer. Maybe I'll cry. Anyway,
Let's
have
cry
a great
together.
show, and and thank you to listeners for listening. Bye.
That's the Supergrass. God rest their souls. And Grace, this is Adam and Joe here on BBC Six Music, back at Glastonbury for our final night of coverage.
Oh, it's gone so quickly.
From perhaps the greatest of all the Glastonbury festivals, the 40th anniversary, and what a wonderful day it's been.
What a wonderful day.
I mean, not for everybody.
There's been a major anomaly in the wonderfulness, hasn't there, this
Yeah,
afternoon,
there's
if
been
you're interested in sport ball.
There's been a kink in the wonderfulosity.
If you want further sport news, then this is the right show for you to stay tuned to.
Yeah, all the other sports shows, Corden's show and, Piffle, and the other big sports shows have channeled their
Saint and
coverage
Greavesy.
to this one, Saint and
Do they
Greavesy.
still exist?
Yeah, they're on Saturday
Sure they
afternoons.
do.
And they are advising people just to listen to our show for all the latest
Bobby
analysis
Moore's Big Ball.
and coverage. Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Sure I do, yeah. Bobby Moore's Big Ball was great. What was your favourite section?
It wasn't about football.
Was it not? It was a self-examination programme.
He just guessed it on Richard and Judy. In the late 90s. Are you all right?
Yeah, I was just...
It's sunstroke. Sorry, listeners. It's been very sunny. We got mild sunstroke.
We had supper at the...
And we got so excited
we
during
had
the
supper
game.
at
We were
Eat to the Beat,
hyperventilating.
and then we all sat outside in the sun. It was like being on holiday. It was like being
Hey,
by the Riviera.
we were working very hard.
Obviously,
all
but you're
day.
still allowed a break, right?
Okay.
And we were a bit like on in your right ear, you've got Ray Davis. Actually, no, it was Jack Johnson singing his wet surf songs. That's the wetness of the surf.
Of course.
I'm not talking about the fact that they're weedy songs. And then in your left ear, you've got...
You sound mildly psychotic today.
know,
When people say a word, let's start laughing in the middle of the word. That's a trait I associate with psychosis.
Really?
Yeah.
If they start laughing, that's
In
it.
the middle of the word.
I associate that with joie de vivre.
Joie de vivre, you're right. Joie de vivre, psychosis, there's a thin line.
MGMT could
If
show
you
you
get
that.
too happy, you just go mad. Anyway, you were saying?
I was just saying that in the left ear you've got MGMT, you know, drifting across the fields, and they're having what looks like the gig of their life as the sun
did look
goes
good.
Beautiful ladies dancing around with them there, and
They were distributing flowers to the crowd.
The main guy, what's his name?
Roy Penalties.
Johnny
I don't
Pillpot.
know.
He's going down there with his
Ron Penalties.
Ron Penalties is the manager of the English football team. All right. Listen, we'll get into all that later on, but we'll take a moment to calm down and play some music right now. And this is a track from one of the big acts that were performing at Glastonbury this weekend. Jack White, Alison Mosshart, and the guy from the Greenhorns and Durwood, better known as Dead Weather. That's put rather
That's a shame,
different
isn't it?
spin
It's a
on
shame.
things, hasn't it?
Could you clean that up?
Yeah, that was
Please.
Alison Mosshart who done that, along with Jack White, and that was the Dead Weather, of course.
They've done it all over the pyramid stage.
They've done it
didn't they?
all over the Prism set. It took ages to clean up. Ray Davies was skidding around in it when he came on to sing today. That was Die by the Drop. And Joe, if you can see Joe on the webcam, listeners, you will be seeing him sitting on the star chair. That's the chair that everybody sits on when they come in and does interviews in this studio. If you want to look at the live video stream, you can go to bbc.co.uk/Glastonbury. There you will find...
So who sat on this chair?
Who has sat on that... well, just this weekend, that chair has been sat on by
Cornish.
the rock butox of Slash.
Oh.
Jack White, who we just heard. Jerry Dammers of The Specials. Grizzly Bear, not all of Grizzly Bear, one of Grizzly Bear. Maxi Jazz. Jazz. And Johnny Marr.
Now, did they sit here because they know I sit here?
Yes, they came
Yes,
in and they
yes,
said...
yes.
Johnny Marr came and said, which is the chair that Joe Cornish sits in?
Did he?
Yeah, like that.
What did Grizzly Bear say? And how did they say it?
They said, excuse me, we've heard there's a chair. Your daughter
That's not Grizzly Bear, man. They're American.
One of Grizzly Bears.
That's Orville.
Is it? All right, maybe that was Maxi Jazz.
Okay.
That was
makes
Maxi
sense,
Jazz.
from Faithless.
Grizzly Bear came in and they... Oh, let's not carry
Anyway, listen, we should say hello to everyone watching the show who is connected in an online sense.
Stereo MCs.
People who Twitter under the hashtag Glasto Squad, are they called? Yeah, and what else are they called? Twit Squadron? Black Squadron? Welcome everybody who's twittering, and welcome everybody who owns a mobile phone
The interactive department.
with a camera.
Yeah.
Because we're about to drop a squadron command on Yoas.
Yeah.
This is very simply a sort of picture messaging test. We're going to set you a challenge. We'd like you to respond by taking a picture based around that challenge. We'd like you to send the resulting picture to 64046.
We have decorated the studio walls with some of our favourite pictures from last night when we asked you to create a festival atmosphere in your own
Front room
homes.
festivals. Standard charges apply? What was the phrase?
Network charges apply.
Network charges apply?
Yeah.
We're going to put the best, well, just put all of them probably, up on the wall and up on the BBC Glastonbury blog, which is probably only there for another few hours.
What do they have to do, Jay Corn?
They have to do, here is the command. We want you to dress up as your favourite Glastonbury act. Now, we don't want anything too elaborate. We need you to do this fast. We'll be impressed by the speed at which you can look around your household and pick up an object that might make you look like object or bit of costume or bit of makeup
Could
that
you
might
give
make
us
you look like an act.
an
For
example?
instance,
Yeah.
right, I might pop into the levee and make myself look like Empire of the Sun.
How would you do that,
I'd
mate?
put a little bit of lippy on my cheeks like adamant. I'd put some big gold specs on, and I'd put on my troubadour top.
And too much hair gel in
Too much hair gel. Or
What would you do for the Pet Shop Boys,
I
mate?
might go in... Who's that? A sort of half Bowie, half Neil Tennant.
Yeah, well-
I go into my bedroom and find some boring clothes. I put them on and make a cone, and before anybody knows, I have become Neil Tennant and his friend Chris Lowe's. A nice man.
And his friend Chris Lowe's. And last line?
And I will win the competition, even though it's not a competition. Don't suppose.
That's the new Pet Shop Boys song.
That's good, isn't it?
Very good. Well, I think that's enough information for the listeners.
So consider that the command dropped. Get those photos coming in 64046. It's not a competition. It's merely a test of how nice you are.
Here is Grizzly Bear from earlier on today. They were playing at the other stage. Let's get in a Grizzly Bear mood right now.
I'm standing in the nude in the open air. I'm really looking forward to Grizzly Bear. I've got bits of food in my hair.
Yay! Hot Chip there with La Isla Bonita by Madonna. No, it was called I Feel Better. I was just joking with you there. Now, Joe, mate, obviously the big band of the weekend is Empire of the Sun.
Obviously.
And they are playing... Have they already played? They're playing tonight.
Yeah, any minute now, aren't they?
On the Park stage, which is commonly agreed to be one of the nicest stages here at Glastonbury. And they're going to play a lovely gig. Would you like a few band facts about them?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's have the jingle.
Oh.
Sorry, I'll just do it live.
No, we will have the jingle.
Dear.
Glastonbury Band Facts.
It's worth waiting for, wasn't it? Did you know, Joe, that the band, and you might be interested in this, was originally formed by Steven Spielberg, Christian Bale, and J.G. Ballard. J.G. Ballard wrote the lyrics, and Spielberg played keyboards, did backing vocals, and Christian Bale did the singing.
I did know that.
Did you?
Tell me something I don't know.
Well, Luke Steele from Sleepy Jackson joined the band, and then he tried to take over from them in a coup. He booted them out of the band. Spielberg and Ballard went without much complaint, but Christian Bale refused to go initially. Joe's doing he's trying to give me appropriate emotional faces to engage with.
Doing my best.
You are doing great, man. I was just, appreciating it. I'm not even going to finish.
Probably didn't take it very well, did he, Bale, on recent form?
No.
I mean, it's the stab in the dark.
Yeah,
what direction you were going in.
Luke Steele, he basically waged a campaign of psychological terror based on taunts. He used to taunt Christian about his intelligence, and until Christian finally got fed up and he left to pursue an acting career, which sadly never worked out.
I like that film.
Did you know Empire of the Sun?
Yeah,
it's a great film, man.
B-52s, Cadillac of the skies. Yeah,
that's
my favourite line.
They should have got the B-52s in there. They could have a little musical cameo. In the Love Shack!
That would have lifted it.
In the Love Camp! Because they were in a prisoner of war camp, weren't they? It's all working out. Here, do you want one more Empire of the Sun?
Please.
Actually, I've got a couple more for you. Did you know that, ironically, for someone as ruthless as Luke, he is gripped by a terrible fear of spiders? He's got arachnophobia. He had therapy to try and overcome his arachnophobia, but he quit the course halfway through. Now he's afraid of spies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Look,
Come on.
I've got two more band facts about Empire of the Sun.
Quickly.
But they're rubbish. I'll give you one of the two before we go into the news, right? Because this is quite an important one. Luke he's had a small auto-tune device fitted into his downstairs, passage in order to make his airborne toxic events more tuneful. And several of them have actually turned up on the last Empire of the Sun album.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that where he gets the idea of the melody, or does he record them straight out of the oven?
Yeah, straight out of the oven, and then the rest of the guys improvise.
You don't want to get your face too close to the oven when you open the door, because it can singe your hair.
Here's the news. Pixies there with Here Comes Your Man. Hey, this is Adam.
Hey, this is Joe. We're coming to you live from the Glastonbury Music Festival 2010 on BBC Six Music.
Very happy to be here. Don't forget that you can get in touch with us at any point this evening by simply texting us on 64046. You can send us photographs of anything, but specifically on the Black Squadron command that we issued there.
What sort of thing is that to say?
Well, I'm saying...
Send us photos of anything?
Of course! I'd be interested.
I know what you'd be interested in.
It's not specifically, I wasn't thinking of that. But, some people like to communicate visually rather than with words, is what I'm saying. And we shouldn't discriminate against those people.
But listen, talking of sending in photos, we issued a command for Glasto Squadron, Twit Squadron, Black Squadron, all the various squadrons that have been established over the past few years, weeks and days. we issued a photo challenge to try and make yourself up like a member of your favourite band performing here at Glastonbury. You had to do this at very short notice with stuff that just came to hand very quickly around the house. We were looking for a really fast response, weren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a very good...
And boy, did we get it.
We've got a really good set of things coming through here. Here's Kat from Bristol. She's dressed up as Florence in this picture, and she has a lovely kind of dress on in the Florence style, a crazy red wig and a mask.
She pulled that together fast, right? That looks like Florence.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the weird white face mask is not exactly like Florence, but no, that's really nice.
Now, this is quite clever. Kathy and her daughter in Laceby, I think it says Laceby, have dressed up as the Pet Shop Boys backing dancers, and they've achieved this simply by putting cardboard boxes on their heads and striking sort of crazy angular dance poses. I'm holding it up so you can see it on the webcam
Ponce
there.
poses.
If you're watching on the webcam. That's very good, very fast moving there by Kathy and her daughter. To be able to move like that is very useful in a combat situation.
David and Fiona have employed whatever was... I mean, I think they're musical anyway, because there's Fiona holding a big bass guitar, and she's dressed as the Edge, because she's got her beanie hat on there.
But the coup de grace are the orbital glasses on her friend...
Are you pronouncing the S on coup de grace there?
Yeah. Yeah, but look at that. Torches mounted to the specs.
Yeah, that's good. Orbital, of course, are going to be playing the other stage just as we finish our programme tonight. Might wander over there and check out the Hartnell Brothers. Ooh, you know they're married.
What? Sorry, I tuned out.
Paul,
lost interest.
Are they called Paul and Phil? Are they? All right, sorry.
But thank you for those photos. Keep them coming in. You can keep them coming in. I mean, maybe you've got a more elaborate scheme that can, beat some of the ones we've seen already.
Oh, I thought you meant like a more elaborate conveyance scheme for the actual photographs.
Could be that too.
So listen, folks, we were talking earlier on about the football, the fact that this is the big programme for all the sports news, the Adam and Joe show, of course, as most people know. We're well up on our sport.
We're passionate about football.
We absolutely live and die for football, so today has been a tough day for us. But let's not say too much more about it ourselves. We're going to play some music by lovely Laura Marling.
But right after that record, you're going to hear what happened when we went to watch the big match with the crowds here at Glastonbury, and we did our own moment-to-moment, highly informed football commentary. So, get ready to relive the highs and lows of this afternoon's match right after this record.
You could cut the atmosphere here with a ballpoint pen.
The biggest game of the season, the biggest game of England's career.
It all hangs on this. If we don't win this one, we're not allowed to play ever again.
Stay tuned, you're in the right place for the most up-to-the-minute informed commentary on today's hugely significant match.
Joe, let's talk tactics.
Of course, it is a controversial lineup. The team has been carefully selected from the cream of the country's players.
Captain, of course, is Rooney, and his executive is Corky. Angela is playing right flank. Mandy Lyons in goal, as usual. Corden is a last-minute substitution for Trent D'Arby, who had to drop out due to depression.
James Corden, who's shown such amazing form in his ITV2 series, has been recruited now to play for the team.
He's a live one, though. He can often be a combustible character, and there's no telling whether he's going to get into difficulties with some of the German teams. He's particularly... I know that he's got history with Professor Heinz Wolf, who's the German captain.
And the team manager, Patrick Stewart, of course, recently had a bit of a fight with Corden, but let's hope they've patched things over, ready for the game.
There was a little bit of anxiety about the British left back, Agamemnon, because he lost his socks and he wasn't sure if he was going to get some new ones in time for the game, but he has. He's got new socks, so he's fine.
That's a big story, the lost socks. Tune in to the Sports News later for more on that. And of course the controversial return to the field of Paul Gascoigne this afternoon.
Well, the big three, of course, of the game today are Gascoigne, Hoddle and Pele, who are playing for England, which, I mean...
A controversial move. Gascoigne obviously been through troubled times recently.
But they've got to be happy about Pele, because he's good.
Do you think Gascoigne
he's
and
one
Hoddle's
of the best
signings smack of desperation?
I think Hoddle's past it, and that's the thing that not everyone is saying here today. That's the thing you can't say is huddle up to it.
And of course, one of the stars of the team, Zane Lowe.
Zane Lowe's on brilliant form. He's been playing wonderful football for about 6 months now.
Plays wonderful football and the best in cutting-edge indie music.
Plus, he's very intense. He's an incredibly intense player.
He can push the ball merely with his eyes.
What do you think about Yoshi and Bowser?
Bowser's heavy. He's slow to accelerate, but once he gets up to speed, he's indomitable. You really can't knock him off the track.
If the German team are planning to throw any kind of flaming rock...
Well, allow me to correct you there, Adam. Of course, Yoshi has the ability to scoop up the ball with his tongue and then spit it out on fire, which might be useful in the later hours of the game, but that's a skill he should hold back until push comes to shove. Let's have a look at the German lineup. Again, some extraordinary surprises. They've switched a lot of their players at the last minute. Some say it's a sort of tactic to confuse the British, but we're really on top of this lineup now. Of course, Klaus Kinski wearing the number 1 shirt.
Professor Heinz Wolf has brought in Des Boot at the last moment. He was a substitute for a while, but after Neindanker had to pull out for personal reasons.
Kraftwerk playing in the number 2 shirt, of course, with their legs tied together, all 3 of them.
And they're incredibly efficient. I mean, they are robotic, almost.
Of course, Dirk Technik is playing in the number 3 shirt. He's like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, he is. They're all well-oiled machines, especially Kraftwerk and Dirk Technik. Hofmeister's in goal because he's a bear of a man.
Just one thing to quickly say about Professor Heinz Wolf. Will he or won't he be bringing his trademark contraptions onto the field?
Yes, that's right. He wanted to set up a very elaborate contraption that would propel the ball up a little ramp and then go round a kind of curly slide in the middle, and then a fan would go round and the ball would drop into the goal.
There's rumours that that's against the rules, but we won't be 100% sure until the kick-off. The gods of football, the cream of European football, head-to-head in a match for the ages. What an atmosphere, what a game,
and
what
the
an incredible 90 minutes.
celebrities here packed into this backstage area are extraordinary. Who have we got in here?
Well, Floella Benjamin is here.
Benjamin is over there.
She's turning heads.
Toby Anstis is on the floor. He's drunk, already very drunk. Russell Crowe is over there, and he's sewing just a big flag and giving out flowers.
And the CBBC cactus is here as well. I forget his name. Prickles,
yeah.
He's here as well.
So what a game. It's going to be extraordinary, and we will get back to you as soon as play gets underway to fill you in on how it's all going.
Stay tuned. Adam and Joe, number 1 for sport.
That's the Fleet Foxes. They made a big splash when they played the Glastonbury Festival last year. That wasn't live, of course. That was the album version of White Winter Hymnal. This is Adam and Joe here on BBC 6 Music. Delighted to be here as well for Glastonbury. And we're going to talk about something a little, off the beaten track right now, inspired by the fact that Joe was talking to his mum earlier on the phone. I mean, the festival is a place to miss your parents, right?
Yeah, I have to say I haven't spoken to my mum this weekend, but Adam, how often do you speak to your mum?
Not enough, man.
Obviously, listeners, we're both grown men. Yeah. We don't live at home anymore, much as we'd love to.
Neither of us, I think it's safe to say, have the kind of relationship with our parents where we phone them every day and stuff.
Once a week?
Once a week? No, I don't do that.
Really?
No.
You see, if a week goes by and I haven't spoken to my mum, I'll feel a little bit upset.
I mean, that's what a lot of people say if they don't speak to their mum every day.
Every day, I know. A lot of people speak to mum every day. Here's my problem, listeners, that I'd like your help with. My mum's a very loving, lovely woman. Obviously, I love her very deeply.
I can vouch for that. Do you mind me saying I love her too?
Do you? That's fine. No, that's good. She's a bringer of love.
She's a great
when I speak to her after the conversation, after all the catch-up, the chit-chat, she will say to me, lots of love, all my love, see you very soon. My problem is I can't say I love you back.
Wow. What about so what do you end up with?
I end up saying thanks. Lots of love, Joe. Lots of love to you. I just go thanks a lot.
Thanks, Mum.
Bye.
Thanks for the love.
And that makes it's not that I can't say it back. It's just that I don't. What do you say in reply to that? Oh, lots of love back to you. It sounds a bit banal, you know what I mean?
Well, are you worried it's going to make you less manly? I mean, it's better than saying thanks, I suppose, is better than saying ditto.
Yeah, do you know what I end up saying? I end up saying, well, give my love to Daddy.
Uh-huh.
I would say. But for something stops me from saying it to her. Is this a profound Oedipal problem?
I don't know what it is.
What do you say when you sign off from your mum?
I've got the same thing, man. I had the same thing the other day. She came to stay for the weekend, and I went out round the corner to buy some milk or whatever, and she phoned me up while I was out and said, "Oh, I'm going now. I'm driving off." And I felt really bad that I wasn't there to say goodbye to her, and I hadn't seen her for ages anyway. And it'd been one of those weekends where there was a lot going on, and I felt we didn't really have any heart-to-hearts.
You say "I love you, bye" all the time.
Yeah, but I don't
on the show. You say "I love you, bye." You could say that to your mum. Yeah. I love you, bye. I love you, bye. Like that. That's all I need to learn to do.
No, but I mean, it's funny. It's easy to say in a ludicrous way. It's not easy if you mean it, though. I mean, that's tough. And so I totally sympathise with your problem. What I want to say is, bye, Mummy, I love you. I wish I spoke to you more often. I wish that we hung out and had great conversations, but our lives keep us apart for whatever reason.
That's too much, isn't it?
It's way too much.
Way too much.
I mean, you might even say it's too much for a radio show.
Do you think? I want to know from the listeners, though, what's the right thing to say to your parents, given that you do love them?
Yeah.
At the end of a phone call.
We know the right thing to say. It's the trick is saying it. How do you say it?
What is the right thing to say?
I love you. Is it not? Do you reckon that's too much?
I think it's
too
much. I love you.
No, you don't have to say it like that.
I wouldn't say it like that. I love you.
I love you. Obviously, you're not going to say it like that. Yeah, okay. Well, any advice from listeners would be
64046. I really need to solve the problem, because I really need a sign-off I can really, use every time she calls.
Sure, yeah.
That pitches it at the right level. Well, that sounds sincere but not overly emotive.
What about lots of love? Lots of love.
Lots of love?
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm writing a letter or a postcard. It sounds trivial.
What about yours sincerely, Joe?
What about see you next week? Bye.
Next week. Till next time.
Yeah. And I'll be back at the same time next week on BBC Six Music. Bye.
With more great conversation. Bye, Mum. Here's some more music right now. And who have we got, James?
We've got Tightrope. Now, this is a track. Yeah. Is this a track from the new Big Boy album? This is a hot, hot album. There's a track that everyone's talking about that he's got out at the moment. What's it called? Bubble Bath or something?
Right. You're asking the wrong guy.
Everyone's talking about it. But this one's called Tightrope. It's by Janelle Monáe, we think.
I saw her performing this, I think, on David Letterman. And she's really impressive. She's got sort of James Brown moves. And...
Still not too late to talk about the Letterman scandal.
Yeah, we can do that later.
All right. Here's Big Boy and Janelle Monáe.
That was We Are Scientists playing earlier today at the festival. I hope you enjoyed that. This is Adam and Joe here at Glastonbury 2010, 40th anniversary of the Glastonbury Festival. And I think I'm right in saying that the festival is taking a break next year. No, I'm not right in saying that. I think I'm wrong in saying that the festival is taking a break next year. Why did you think that? I don't know. Just thought it. I'd heard a rumour that he was doing another sabbatical year.
Right.
It's not true, though.
No.
I don't know why I said it. Sorry about that.
Often the way on this programme.
On this programme, yeah.
Why do we say any of this?
I don't know. Hey, man, are you excited about the new Twilight film?
Oh, the new Twiglet film?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say excited.
Have you actually seen the other two?
What's the absolute opposite of excited? I did. I went to see the first one with a friend. We talked about this, didn't we? Or was that after we went off the air?
I don't know.
Yeah, I went to see it at the View West End in London's Leicester Square, I think on the opening night.
Yeah.
After work with a friend, and it was awful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not even
it was really weird.
Hedging your bets
Sure
with
we didn't talk about this? It was a cinema full of ladies.
Right.
And I found it intensely boring.
Did you?
Like, worse than the worst soap opera ever.
What about the Wolfmen, though? Did you see the second film as well?
Yeah. No, that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh.
Twilight.
Well, they're all called...
What's the second one called? New Moon.
New Moon, yes,
yeah.
yes.
And a lot of the women in the audience were laughing every time any of the boy wolves got their man boobs out. As if it was a sort of a kind of Chippendales concert.
Yes, exactly. Well, it kind of is, isn't it?
It kind of is.
Taylor Lautner, is he the name of the...
Yeah, from Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
So yes, all the Wolfmen get their stuff out the whole time in a ridiculous way, and they don't carry around spare clothing.
No,
because it all busts off them.
Well, they don't feel the cold,
right?
Because they're hot with wolf heat.
Yeah, exactly. And also, they're not responsible for what happens when they turn into wolves. In fact, there's a very sad moment when one of them reveals the fact that his girlfriend has a very big scar because he slashed her when he was a wolf man. Because I got an argument. Oh, dear. Oh, you don't want to argue with me now because I'm a wolf man. That's what happens.
Really?
That's what happens in our house, because I'm a wolf man.
Oh, you were? Oh, I claimed to be a wolf man last year on the programme. I claimed to have a chest like a wolf man.
I have got a chest like a wolf man.
You have not.
I do, it's hairy.
I'm better looking than Taylor Lautner, and I've got more defined pecs.
Yeah, that's true. My pecs are very defined because they're so large. I mean, in a way, they're more like breasts, but they're very prominent. And I do have a terrible problem when I get angry because I'm prone to lose my temper, you know.
The key to those films, though, is the girl not being allowed to touch the men.
She's not allowed to do much of anything.
If you made a film just with a girl, an attractive girl, in a cage, surrounded by the 20 sexiest men in the world, and that was just it for 90 minutes, they just dance round the cage, naked, going la 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 la, and she's not allowed to do anything, that would be a huge hit.
She is a weirdo, though, isn't she, Bella, in the film? Because she just more or less has a blank expression all the time. She does, really
but that's good acting.
Betray emotion. Is that good
Yes,
acting?
less is more. The less, the better.
And there doesn't seem to be anything overtly interesting, attractive, fun, or anything about her that would attract you to another human being. And yet, the wolves and the vampires are fighting over her.
Obsessed with her.
They all want to get a piece of her.
In the little forest by the sea.
And it's not just them, though. It's the nerds as well. All the people at school want to go. I mean, almost every single person wants to have a slice of Bella and her blank expression. Did you enjoy the made-up films they had in that?
No. Oh, yeah, they walk past a cinema, don't they?
Yeah, the films where you don't remember what they were called.
Ah, it's coming back to me.
There was an action film, and they went to the movies.
They were quite clever, though. They were quite ironical, were they not?
A little bit, yeah. They sort of reminded me of the kind of stuff that we burble about.
Yeah.
There was an action film in this film called Fist Punch.
Yes.
And there was a romantic comedy called Love Spelled Backwards is Love.
That was the one good scene with Anna Kendrick in it.
Right.
Who was good in it?
Was Anna Kendrick in it?
Yeah.
There you go. But that was pretty impressive. Love spelt backwards is love. Do you get that?
No, I remember that vividly as thinking, wow, there's a little sparkle of wit.
Yeah.
In an otherwise witless production. Hey, that's just my opinion. And what do I know?
You don't know anything,
I don't know nothing.
That film, that saga has brought joy to lonely women all over the world.
It's not aimed at people like me.
No, I'll tell you who it's aimed at. My wife.
Really?
She thinks they're great.
She doesn't.
She does.
She's amazing, your wife.
She makes me watch them. I got the last one on DVD after we'd had a little
argument. Did that stitch things up?
You bet. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was like I'd come in with a tray full of gold or something and solved every single one of our problems.
There's hundreds and thousands of teenagers camping outside the Egyptian Theatre in Los Angeles waiting for the new one.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they wolf people?
No, they're just sad
Just
people.
ladies. Okay, more music. You know, we've got, don't forget, folks, coming up in this next hour. Well, we've only got about 50 minutes now, but we've got more football commentary.
Yes.
We've got the exciting resolution.
We're going to do it next. In fact, after the next record, we're going to go straight into the section of our commentary that we recorded actually during the game. So once again, your chance to relive this afternoon's fantastic match.
Is it a bit of JB right now, James? This is get up off of that thing.
Join us 10 minutes into the game. The England versus Germany playoff here in the World Cup 2010. Adam and Joe reported from the Glastonbury Festival, the home of football.
Hoddle, running along, star jumps, grabs the ball, boots it to Pele. Pele gets it and passes it to Agamemnon.
Agamemnon tackled roughly by Kinski. Kinski in possession of the ball. Kinski stripping his shirt off, reciting poetry, provocative poetry now, dribbling towards the goal. Kinski back on form, passes to Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk, all with their legs tied together. Beautiful robotic manoeuvres. Kraftwerk to Lufthansa. Lufthansa, oh, late takeoff by Lufthansa.
And Autobahn's got it. He's grabbed it off Lufthansa. He's booted it down to Schiffer. And Hofmeister is looking very pleased in goal in the German side. He doesn't have to do any work at all at the moment. But Mandy Lyons looking in trouble for the British team. And Liebfrau Milk has got it off Guttentag. Passes it to Merkel. Over to Hasselhoff. Oh, Autobahn's got hold of it. Franz Ferdinand
to Base Hunter.
Here comes Liebfrau Milk. Liebfrau Milk on the inside, looking a little shaky, possibly a little the worse for wear. Liebfrau Milk to Guten Tag. Guten Tag. Merkel to Merkel. Merkel scores!
Oh!
It's 1-0 to Germany.
It right down to Autobahn and through to the middle and right past Gascoigne, Saint-Lô and Agamemnon.
Look at the look on Yoshi's face. Yoshi and Bowser really despondent.
Corky's hanging his head in shame there, and Rooney has gone over into the corner.
A shot there
had
of
a sandwich.
A shot there of the Wags on the British Wags bench. Lara Croft hugging a tearful Gwyneth Paltrow.
Angela Lansbury is helping Dame Judi Dench up. She's fallen over.
The two Fergies, Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas,
and Jenny Murray is weeping into her sandwich. Well, the final score at the end of the match, 25-1. England's hopes shattered, lying in a pool of vomit.
Hordes of surgeons now approaching the British fans in order to gut them. Half of them are now actually fully gutted. The rest of them standing in lines waiting for the gut removal operation.
The news coming in that James Corden and Dizzy Rascal's single is to be pulped, even though it's made of plastic. It's going to be smashed up. All the digital downloads will be converted into books and then pulped.
Fans of that single are going to have to sing it backwards for as many times as they sung it forward. This will be enforced by
to
the police.
Unmake it. I mean, no one really expected some of the extraordinary things in that second half that happened to happen. Ben Shepherd coming in to substitute Rooney was an extraordinary and unusual move that...
Well, to be honest, Adam, as soon as the fans saw Shepherd coming on the pitch, we knew the game was over. Obviously a very talented television presenter, but
not a great football
not known
player.
as a footballer, so that did seem like a desperate measure.
What now for the team, then? What kind of things can Rooney expect from his career now?
Well, of course, the losing team will be executed at the Palace on Monday. It will be a gory, bloody day, but
will Stephen Fry be executed? He's a national treasure, though.
Stephen Fry will be doing the executing.
I mean, he was responsible for fumbling a lot of those balls, and he's not a good passer. There was a lot of times when he could have passed to Yoshi and Agamemnon, and he failed to do so because he was too busy with his quips and bon mot.
A lot of questions being asked to Fabio Capello. Why apply Nintendo characters
You did a real
to the
footballer's
pitch?
name.
Why play an ancient Greek warrior who's been dead for thousands of years?
I'm worried we're going to get beaten up for laughing.
Put Gascoigne back on the pitch with all his drink problems and spousal abuse problems?
Was Pele really in good enough shape?
And the humiliation of being beaten by Professor Heinz Wolf, who's in his 60s.
And David Hasselhoff. Who scored 16 of the goals in the end.
Klaus Kinski is, of course, dead.
Kraftwerk.
Still, yet he managed to beat the British team.
Scored 6 goals and were an unstoppable robotic force. It's a dark day for British football.
Heavy drinking is the only answer.
Exactly, we're off to do some of that now.
Adam and Joe, our condolences are with you on this dark day for English football.
That's the Clash with Rock the Casbah, of course.
The
Lock
Clash.
the taskbar, lock the taskbar. The Clash.
Yeah, that's how you say it. This is Adam and Joe on BBC Six Music, coming to you live from the Glastonbury Festival 2010. And what a fantastic time we've had. This is our last show, obviously. We're only like 2/3 of the way through, so don't panic, Adam.
It's absolutely
Don't get emotional. What a lovely time we've had, like hanging around with all the other presenters. It's been very nice chatting to Tom Ravenscroft. Yeah, he's a very decent chap, isn't he?
He's so handsome.
He's very handsome.
I didn't even realise he looked like that. I don't know why, but I suppose, because John Peel was sort of charmingly dishevelled.
He was handsome.
He was handsome, of course. But I sort of expected his son to look a little more like a kind of swampy figure, you know?
Right.
But he's good looking, man.
Lovely chatting to Jarvis there at the beginning of the show. That's the first time I've met Jarvis.
Yeah, did you get a little
thrill? I did, yeah.
It is nerve-wracking, isn't it?
I recognised him from Fantastic Mr. Fox.
No, obviously.
That's right, I forgot he was in that.
And who else is speaking? We'd love you to chat to Keris, and I say that because in a second we're going to play a track that Keris recorded earlier in the day, but we'll get into that in a second. First of all...
Yeah. No, you can.
Can we get back to my emotional mother problems?
Yes.
Okay.
Have the listeners been supplying you with some advice?
They have, yeah. I was saying earlier in the show that I'm having problems when my parents call me, when my mummy calls me. I just don't know how to sign off. She's quite emotional. You know, she's not emotional, but she'll say, I love you, and do all that proper mum stuff. I just find it very difficult to reciprocate. A little like Patrick Swayze in the film Ghost with Demi Moore.
Oh, right,
Obviously, that's a different kind of relationship. Do you remember? He
Sure.
always had to say ditto.
Yeah.
It's a little like that, but only with your mum. So thank you for the various bits of advice we've had in. Paul in Brighton says, I have the same problem as Joe. I love my mum, but I feel she should know this anyway, so it doesn't merit a mention. Now, that he's really put his finger on it.
They can
is
take
this
it as read.
heartless, he says. Paul in Brighton.
This is the thing, as a father myself, I project a few years into the future and think about what I would like in my twilight years. I'm not saying my mum was in her twilight years, but you know what I mean? Like, when I was older, I would miss
I think you
it.
want your kids to be hard.
You reckon?
Yeah, cold and hard. Tough, cold and hard, ready to take on the world.
I'm a bit of a weed bag, though.
Here's one from, how do you say that name there by my thumb?
Shan? Shan? S-I-A-N? Sean.
Sean.
Ian Joe, I think.
My dad never says he loves me when signing off on the phone either. I make a point of saying it and staying very quiet afterwards just to make him uncomfortable. I think it must be a boy problem.
You know, my dad doesn't have any sign-off, my dad. He will finish his last sentence and the phone goes down. That's
Really?
it. Yeah. Nothing
Like
like...
someone in a movie.
You know, like how sometimes it's quite hard to hang up to conclude a phone conversation. You know, sometimes there's a lot of awkward stumbling. All right, see, okay, all right, then cheers. And to read the goodbye signals, not a problem for
Nothing.
my dad. Clunk, that's the end of the combo.
Will Bowie says to Mother, believe me, Mother, the feeling is mutual. Please tell me you understand. That's his suggestion.
That's efficient.
And finally, from H in Leeds. That's H from Steps.
Might be.
Hello, Joe. I'm the same with my mother. When she says, I love you, I've found it's easiest to say, same to you. Go for it, man.
No, he doesn't. I
Yeah,
don't
same
believe
to you. Same to you.
Oh, I see. He's saying to you. Right.
Back to Mum. Oh, same
Yeah.
to you.
And the go for it man is for you.
It's for me, yeah.
I thought
Go
he was
for
saying
it.
that to his mum.
Same to you. Go for it, Mum.
Go for it, mum. You could do it.
I don't know. I haven't got anything there I can use.
Listen,
really.
we were discussing this while the record was playing, and we got to the root of your problem.
What was the root of
You
my
know what
problem?
the right thing to say to your mum is.
What is it? What was it?
It's "I love you, mum," or "lots of love," or something like that. Something that just has the word love in it. That's all you need. But you can't even say that, Iceman.
It's not because I'm an Iceman. It's because I'm overly emotional.
You're a very nice
I can't do things by halves.
Yeah. In fact, there's a film with Rissi fans coming out about you, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Iceman.
But thanks for your advice, everybody. I'll keep working on that.
Here's some music. Yes, this is the track that Joe was mentioning earlier. This is Keris singing with the
London Community Gospel Choir.
and she's singing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, I think. Here's her to introduce it, though.
Very lovely. That's Keris Matthews here on BBC Six Music. Was that earlier today at the Glastonbury Festival? And she was singing with the London Community Gospel Choir. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Lovely.
Very nice. We were talking earlier on while we were having our supper about, well, I was talking about it, about men walking around the site topless, as they have been this weekend because of the beautiful weather. So you've had all kinds of chests and physical forms on display. And on the whole, I'm quite impressed with the men. I've seen a lot of enviable torsos. Have you not, Joe?
Sure. Yeah, a lot of enviable torsos. I mean, we've already discussed my torso in the context of the Twilight Wolves.
That's right.
So, you know, it's hard for me to see a torso I envy.
Well, I mean, I've been coveting quite a few because...
Really?
Yeah.
We've seen some quite outrageous tattoo action.
Yeah, some people have got bad tattoos. Can I just say this? If there's any young children listening, I'm sure your parents have said this to you already, but maybe they haven't. Never get a tattoo, because you'll look like a Wally, and then you won't be able to get...
What about we might have listeners with lovely tattoos? A tattoo can be all right. Do you think, or are you a tattoo fascist?
No, I know. Obviously, I know people with tattoos. I've got a tattoo myself. It's of an ugly person. It's on my face. Underneath there's I'm trying to wriggle out of the fact that obviously I've offended
But we
loads
saw
of
some
tattoo
bizarre
people.
ones. We saw a man with so many kind of Japanese scripty words on his back. The whole back was totally full up, wasn't it? Layers and layers and layers of them, and all the way up his leg. And it was just overwhelming and confusing.
He looked like a giant can of energy drink from Japan.
He had a very big tummy.
I mean, it was weird because it was as if he'd been doing like you know, I'm not in brilliant shape myself, but that's why I wear a shirt. This guy was wandering around displaying the most extraordinary... You know that scene in Total Recall where the guy takes his shirt off and he's got like a little revolutionary mutant guy living on his chest? That's what this guy looked like he had as well.
I saw a lady with sort of sheet music tattooed on the small of her back.
Ah.
Yeah?
I mean, I'm actually feeling really bad about what I said before about the tattoo. All you have to know is, like, think about it really, really carefully. Think about what it's going to be like.
I think just go modest. Less is more.
Exactly.
With the tittle-tattles.
Really teeny-weeny is fine. You know, and what's wrong with a nice little anchor? What's wrong with something, just a heart with mum?
What's wrong with a little cobweb on the face?
What's wrong with the word hate on your knuckles?
Yeah.
Come on, what's wrong with that? Keep it to that. You know, you don't have to go for the swastika every time on the forehead like Charlie Manson.
Not every time. It did inhibit his employment prospects.
Manson, yeah. It really did. I know he had to go and paint a big bindi spot on it or whatever to try and throw them off. Okay, it is just gone 9:30 and it's time for the news.
Sounded like he said something else at the end of that record. I mean, he was saying peace, but the way he said it sounded like something else. Peas, exactly. That was Faithless, recorded, you know, really recently, like half an hour ago.
Half an hour ago. Time is more or less catching up with us.
On the Pyramid stage here at Glastonbury. That's hot from the oven.
Ooh. I thought you told us to stay away from the oven earlier on.
It depends what sort of an oven you've got.
Depends who's in the oven. And then, of course, tomorrow, Joe, it's back to normality. Back on the train.
Oh, dear.
To Lundump. And I'm looking forward very much.
You going back to Lundump?
Well, I've got to go back to Lundump to get the train to Norwich. But I'm looking forward to all the phone conversations I'm going to be listening to on the train tomorrow.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Be really good. But the other day I was on the train with a friend of mine. We'll call him Gavin Zipwire for the purposes of this show. And he turned out to be a loud talker, not just on the phone, made a few conversations, but just in general chatting to me, very loud talker.
Really?
How are you with loud talkers? Because I like to keep quite quiet on the train.
I kind of like them. There was a guy next to me on the way down. He was doing some sort of business deal about Stevie D's or something, arranging some sort of production.
Who's Stevie D?
Stevie D's. I don't know, relation of Stevie Nicks. I don't know. There was someone else arranging when to go and see a friend. I can't do Wednesday. No, Wednesday's no good. I've got Suki's party. But Thursday, can you do Thursday? Oh, no, I can't do Thursday. It was quite fun.
Yeah.
I like listening to it.
I told you once, I think, about this guy that was behind me once, and he was saying, I was in the hotel, yes, and yes, I stayed in that room, yes. No, I will not pay for the carpet. No, I won't pay for the carpet. I was very ill. I was extremely ill, so I won't pay for the cleanup of the carpet. And it went on like that.
He shouldn't pay for the carpet if he was ill. It's hardly his fault.
Exactly. Well, that's what he was saying. And then he broke the lav as well.
Did he?
Yes. He said, I'm not going to pay for a new toilet. That's not my fault. It was already broken.
I think it's fun. It's a little window into other people's lives.
What if you want to shut that window?
Well,
just have some peace.
Do it with a slap with the back of your hand.
Sometimes it feels like that. But I mean, I was thinking, like, with my friend, seeing as he was doing the exact
Gavin
thing. Gavin Zipwire. He's doing the loud talking, both on the phone and to me personally. I was thinking, you know, and he's a really nice guy, so I felt bad.
Lovely.
You know Gav, right?
Gav. ZB.
So I thought this is an annoying situation because I really like Gav, but I feel like there's a distance between us now because he's doing the loud talking. So should I say something to him and, like, keep it on a friendly basis? I just felt like it was not appropriate. I felt that would make him feel self-conscious if I did. What would you have done? Just put up and shut up?
Oh, well, what was the conversation about?
I mean, it was totally normal.
But it was just loud. It was the volume. It was the volume.
Very loud.
I mean, you were embarrassed on behalf of other people around you.
And I was, I like to keep it quiet. I like to blend in, you know, not stand
I have to
out.
say, occasionally my lady partner speaks on the phone inappropriately loud around the house.
Oh, yeah.
Does yours do that?
Yes.
I tell her to shush it down. She doesn't like it. I go, shh. It's as if she's got her Walkman on or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like people with their Walkman on and then they talk to you and they misjudge the level of volume necessary.
Absolutely.
She doesn't like it.
I shushed someone on the train the other
Suffer
day.
in silence, I think that's the key.
Suffer in silence.
Or go to the quiet carriage.
Oh, I was in the quiet carriage,
well, in
guy.
that case, the slap.
You know, because people don't... The other day there was someone in the quiet carriage...
I tell you what, grab the phone out of the hand, stamp on it, and say, shut up!
You know what I had a fantasy, an elaborate fantasy about doing, was getting out my phone and switching it onto movie mode and filming the guy while he was talking, right? And this is a different person, not my friend.
You've done this kind of thing before, though.
I thought I would film him until he...
Didn't you film a policeman or something?
Yeah, let's not go over that again. No, not a policeman, but a parking warden.
That's right. You chased them down the street.
Yes, don't bring that up again. Don't bring my previous
I'm just trying to make you learn from your past mistakes.
I'm not saying I'm going to do
If
this.
you don't bring it up, then how are you going to learn?
It's a fantasy. I'm allowed my fantasies.
So what would you do with the footage of the person talking loudly on the phone?
The footage is not the issue. What I do is I film the guy, I'm right in his face.
He'd probably talk louder.
And then he'd say, what are you doing? He'd say, hang on a second, there's some guy filming me. What are you doing? I'd say, oh, I'm just filming you so I can keep the conversation and play it back to lots of other people later. He'd say, what are you talking about? I'm allowed to make a phone call. Sure you are. And I'm really enjoying listening to it. But it's so fantastic that I'd really like to play it to lots of other people. How do you think that would go?
I think you'd be more embarrassed than he was.
Of course I would.
Yeah.
Because I'd be a massive wally. But still, it's a nice fantasy. Would you like to hear some MGMT? This also recorded mere minutes ago.
I would. We were watching their live performance via the BBC feed. And by the way, if you want to see pretty much anything here at Glastonbury, within reason, go to bbc.co.uk/Glastonbury, and there's all sorts of live streams of all the best music here from Glastonbury. But yeah, as Adam says, this was recorded earlier today, and their set looked pretty good, didn't it? They were all dressed up and going crazy and chucking flowers around, and they had all sorts of beautiful ladies in wispy dresses doing sort of whirligig type dance moves on the stage.
Those crazy guys are having the time of their lives. And this is the sound they were making. Nutty. That's the Nutty Boys, not the Nutty Boys, some Nutty Boys, MGMT. They were playing earlier on this evening here at Glastonbury. On the other stage, Adam and Joe here, and probably what you're thinking right now, listeners, I know Joe is I wish I had some more facts about MGMT.
How do you know what I'm thinking?
Well, we've known each other a long time. Here's a little sting to introduce them.
Band facts.
What was that? Play that again, James.
That was the last.
Please.
Band facts.
What is that effect even called?
No, I found it on
That's amazing.
somewhere on my hard drive. I thought I'm going to have that one. I'd forgotten. That was the last. I knew that was going to be the last one of the festival. So
Well, you really saved the best till last.
sure I did. Did you know that MGMT stands for Macaroni Gives Me Tummy Ache?
Really?
Yeah. Or possibly Men Get More Totty.
Right.
I'm not sure. Lead singer.
Are you just guessing on both of those?
No, I know it stands for Macaroni Gives Me Tummy Ache. But I'm guessing
No,
it
end the sentence there, man.
Okay. Lead singer Jimothy Sparkles and guitarist Sam Bendiman met while working at an amethyst shop in Brooklyn, and they bonded over a shared love of rabbit hutch design. Did you know that about the band?
Jimothy's a good name.
That's his name.
It's like Billiam. You fuse two names together.
Put a little portmanteau name. Their new album was recorded in... And this is very interesting. MGMT's new album was recorded in 1992 by the band The Soup Dragons, who'd been issued detailed instructions by MGMT on a fax that was sent backwards through time.
I don't know about these facts, man.
They're not that
Something's
good,
not right.
Some of them are a little off. I mean, I checked these with Wikipedia, and...
in that case.
Some of them are verified. They're weasel words, maybe. That's what they call it. I think on Wikipedia, when something is an unverified statement, that's called a weasel word. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure I'm right about that. That's how unsure I am of my facts.
Let's have another one.
MGMT sometimes deliberately dress as morons to confuse people. Did you know that? Come on. This is the penultimate band fact of Glastonbury.
How can you tell when they're doing that deliberately or when they're trying to be cool?
Exactly.
How can you tell?
Well, that's
what confuses
that's
people.
They're never quite sure. You're like, is this one of the times that they...
Quite makes sense.
What do you mean?
No, maybe it does. Is this carry on that? Is this one of the times that they...
What, do you mean tonight? when they were at Glastonbury? Did they deliberately dress as morons?
Yeah.
No.
No. Really?
Yeah.
So that they dressed as morons in error.
Are you saying they were dressed as morons?
Are you saying they were dressed as morons?
Not tonight. That's what I just said. They looked great tonight. Sometimes
let's move on. Let's have
they
the last
dress as
band fact.
morons.
Let's have the last one.
Did you know when on tour, the band Mgmt travel everywhere by rocket? It's not, which you would think would be bad for the planet, right? Or the fuel consumption. It's not powered by regular fuel. It runs on squares.
Right. Like square crisps?
No, square people.
Square people, like
Yeah.
uncool people.
Uncool people.
Really? Where
Yeah.
do they get them from?
There's people like that everywhere, man.
And do they kill them?
What do you reckon?
They burn them as fuel?
Sure.
Do they?
Yes.
That's awful. Are
I'm not the one who does it.
you sure that's a fact?
No. Yes.
It is. You are sure. You're like the new Norris McWhirter.
Yeah, I know. You're going to miss band facts. Are you? Where are you going to go for your facts now?
Where am I going to go for my facts? Of course I'm going to miss band facts. That was amazing. I've learnt so many things.
Yeah, good. Here's The Fall. This is... I don't even know what this track's called. No, it's called Berry Rabbit Parts 2 and 7 or something. Anyway, this is The Fall. That's all you need to know. That's The Fall! And he was on stage with Gorillaz, of course.
Do you think someone was
Friday.
insinuating today that a lot of the kids in the audience for Gorillaz just wouldn't have known who he was?
No. A lot of Fall fans probably wouldn't have known.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. He came out, he just sort of stumbled on stage because he's not going to make an effort and dress up, is he, Mark Smith?
But he's kind of a legend, isn't he?
Yes, he's a legend, but... you know, in a fairly marginal way, I think,
for the kids.
to people who know. But for your average person on the
He's
street...
got to do some kind of Justin Bieber duet to get himself back out there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'd advise.
He did a good job, though. And, folks, boy, you know, our time is running out. This is it for us here at Glastonbury 2010.
We've had a fantastic time. Thank you very much to our producer, James.
Yes.
You can see his handsome face on the webcam. He's done a terrific job pressing all the butons.
So nice to be back. And, James, can I extend a thank you to you as well for all the work you did on my show, A Big Mixtape, on
Might be a bit late
Sundays.
now.
Well, I thought, you know, I was going to see him again and I might take advantage of this opportunity to
Thanks
do
to
so.
beautiful Lucy,
Lovely
who's been helping us
Lucy.
with all the texts and photos. And thanks to the BBC for having us. We very much hope to be back on Six Music later in the year. So please keep in touch with our blog, Adam and Joe. No, hang on, bbc.co.uk/blogs. /Adam and Joe, where we will let you know as soon as we know when we'll be back. You can download our 3 podcasts from the usual places of the 3 shows we've done here at Glastonbury.
Number 3 will be available tomorrow.
Yeah. And coming up next, Steve Lamacq. He's got live music from Orbital and Stevie Wonder. So stay tuned for all the great coverage coming to you from Six Music. We'll see you very soon.
We're just about to turn off the webcams as well. So while Iggy Pop is playing, we'll bid you goodbye on the webcams without the use of words. Take care.
Thanks for listening.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.